Yeah. Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again for part 4. Ryan's out on the streets now. As I previously mentioned, no parole or probation. Now, this is a young man's summer vacation. But he's out on the streets. Completely served out a 7-year sentence. He's $350,000 strong, man. Yeah, the money's good. He's trying to get back into the whole aspect of, the MMA fighting, as I mentioned in part 3. But things are just not the same. His heart is not quite, all the way in it. His mind is on, understandably, who did this to my wife, man? Who and why? Those were the two key questions that he had. I know I can't do this hustle thing forever. You see, Ryan was very, very smart. He knew that once he got back to the streets, yeah, he could still hustle. But that $1,000 he was making off a gram, no, my friend, not on the streets. Nowhere even remotely close. I don't want to put myself in a situation where Ryan's speaking to himself. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I can go back to prison or whatever. So let me be wise about this situation. Ryan had a couple of dudes that was, I guess you can call them runners in the pen. Ryan arranges for an individual to go get a job up at this prison. He's smart. He's using his mind. I need somebody that's going to bring the product into the prison. I got my dudes. They got cell phones so we can communicate on the phones. And this money can't continue. It's $2,000 a week that I was paying the warden. Guess what? I can give it to my dudes in the joint and still make the same amount of money. For the most part. Make a little bit less because I got to break the officer off something that's going to bring it in. But guess what? I'm still making a large sum of money, man. These two individuals that Ryan was rocking with in the pen, they were going to be there for quite some time. And people are already acclimated and, used to those guys because they were the ones that was, it was kind of like they weren't really the mules, but they were the ones that, the soldiers, the foot soldiers. So people was already used to them. And Ryan trusted these dudes as much as you can trust an individual. Y'all rock with me, man. Jump in the comment section, man. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you're representing. Let it be known. That was a plan that Ryan had formulated prior to leaving prison. Came home. That plan came into fruition, if you will. The monies continue to come in. Ryan's going to the gym. He's training. He ended up having a fight. Got knocked out. Submitted, whatever you want to call it, MMA. Just wasn't. It just wasn't the same. He didn't have that fire, that desire, that passion. And not to mention, he had been locked up nearly 3 years. I'd imagine, I'm not an MMA fighter, but just anything that you do, if you're absent for 3 years, I would imagine that you won't be the same when you do, if and when you do decide to return. Ryan had another fight. He won that fight, but it wasn't in magnificent, he won. He didn't dominate the dude or whatever, but he won the fight. But it was somebody that 3 or 4 years prior, man, he would have scraped that dude, man. Wiped the ground with him. It's crazy because in the first fight that Ryan lost, he got beat so bad, man. Ryan wouldn't submit. He wouldn't tap out, though. It's one thing about it. His heart didn't go anywhere. He wouldn't tap out. Dude's choking him all the way out. The referee ain't stopped the fight or nothing. He's choking him all the way out. Ryan should have One of the coaches, man. Because, Ryan had several coaches. One of the coaches, he's telling the coach that had the towel, man, throw the towel. Y'all remember on the movie Rocky? Rocky, when Drago, I must break you. See, you have this belief that we are so very good. Hold on. You have this belief that you all are so very good and we are so very bad. You have this belief that your country is greater than ours. And that was Drago's wife at the press conference when he's about to fight Apollo. Apollo's getting literally obliterated in the ring. Promise me, Rock. Don't stop this fight, man. No matter what. Hey, champ, you getting killed out there, man. I gotta stop the fight, man. You're getting killed, man. This guy's... No matter what. No matter what, Rock. He's getting dominated. The coach had the towel. I forget his name in real life. I forget his character's name, but he had the towel, the black dude, the bald head dude or whatever that was helping to train. Well, he was actually Apollo's trainer. He's telling Rocky, throw the damn towel. That's how he's saying. Rocky got the towel like this in his hand, and he wants to throw it, but the words, no matter what, Rock, no matter what, Stallion. See, Rock didn't want Apollo to fight this dude anyway. Hey, come on, Apollo, that ain't us no more, man. They watching old film and tapes of them fighting, and that's not us no more. Come on, Stallion. If it's not us, who is it then? See, that's where you're wrong, Stallion. All this money, all these cars, all these nights, that's where you're wrong. He talks Rocky into training him. As I mentioned, man, if Rocky had thrown the towel, perhaps Apollo would have lived. But Rocky held true to his promise. Throw the damn towel! Now that correlates into my story. So sometimes I will jump into different movie roles or different movie scenes, but it's all relevant to my story. And how it's relevant is because Ryan was getting beat so bad and he refused to tap out. His other trainer, his other coach, throw the damn towel. Finally, the referee steps in, did what he should have done. Like, Ryan nearly lost his life in the ring, but guess what? He was like willing to be unalived before he tapped out. Deep in his heart, I believe Ryan really wanted to go and be with his wife, the love of his life. Ryan went on to have a couple more fights, lost one, ended up maybe winning another one. He ended up having like 4 or 5 fights after he got out, and he hung it up. It's over, man. You got to know when it's over. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Ryan had to fold them. It's over. You got plenty of money. Not a millionaire, but you half a millionaire with no debt. Your objective has never ceased as far as finding out who did this to your wife. Now, you can't really go to the police because, you know what I mean, you already in the streets, you doing your thing, so you can't really go to the police. So Ryan went to the streets, man. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out who did them. He made a couple calls. He knew some dudes in the streets. He got a $50,000 reward, if you will, on the streets, man. 50,000, 50 bands. Now, it wasn't necessarily a reward, although I just said a reward. Basically, it was, I got a hit on your head. Whoever did this, I got a $50,000 hit on their head, but I need the information. I need to know who did this to my wife and why. 50 bands. Wasn't nothing to Ryan. It's a small thing to a boss. Words out on the street, $50,000. That's a lot of cake. Cake. That's a lot of cake. 50 bands, that's a pound cake. It's a lot of bands, man. Street money. That's a lot of money, period. How many of y'all got 50,000? Now, I know you might not want to be, it's kind of a rhetorical question. I'm not expecting people to be like, oh, man, I do. Or I don't. But your average individual don't have $50,000, man. Word gets around in the streets, man. He gets a whole lot of false leads and nothing that was, nothing typically leads to nothing. But he got a call one day after about a year. It's a call from an individual. He said, hey, man, I got some information on your wife. Can we meet? Ryan was very apprehensive, skeptical. Just in general, because there's always somebody who's going to try to rob you, set you up or whatever. Maybe police, so he was very, very apprehensive about this individual. Ended up meeting up with him anyway. Ryan was doing more listening, wasn't really talking, but after a while he realized that this person was like, this was a true lead individual that really, really knew something. So listen, bro, keep it all the way real with you, man. 50,000, I need that. I was skeptical about coming forward because, I'm dealing with some dangerous people. When this whole occurrence happened, I was approached by an individual. This individual came to me and told me that he needed me to erase somebody. That's something that I, was interested in doing at the time. Told me he'd give me 20,000 for, making sure it's done. 10 beforehand, 10 afterwards. I thought about it. I was gonna do it. I was definitely gonna do it. But the individual that was going to give me the money, he ended up getting shot down in the streets. That was the only the only plug that I had as far as, and I understand how you feel. That's your wife, but at the time I didn't know that it was your wife. I didn't know. And I was propositioned. Like I said, the individual that was going to pay me to do this, he got murked in the streets. But can I tell you this, though? For that $50,000, I can let you know some very, very valuable information. Ryan's ready to bloop out, choke him out, but you can't choke dude out. He got straps on him, man. Fighting stuff, it don't bode too well when a person got straps on. This person mentioned something about a prison warden that needed somebody gone. That confirmed even more in Ryan's mind that this dude is definitely telling the truth, because it all made sense. It all made sense. His best friend, the warden at the prison, had made mentions, man, we need your wife out of the way. Now, not in that sort of way, but he made mentions. Actually, it was in that sort of way, but just Ryan didn't take it in that particular manner. Y'all rock with me, man. Y'all rock with me if you know where I'm going with this month, with this story. I'm trying not to cuss as much. Now it's all making sense. In Ryan's mind, you had my wife knocked off. Once you did that, you took the new position. You wasn't worried about the whole me or my wife bringing it to the light because she was gone. I go to the hole for 7 days. I'm only supposed to be in there 3 or 4 days just to clear my mind. I'm not in there for punishment. I'm in there for a whole 7, 8 days. You never once come and get me out or try to talk to me. Or then when I get out, you very, very distant. It's Ryan thinking to himself, talking to himself. I come and once I finally get an opportunity to talk to you and speak with you, you tell me about this new position, yeah, and I'm like, nah, man, you messing the money up. Although they had already previously discussed that, but now you don't care. You don't care about messing the money. You don't care about anyone exposing because there was nobody to really expose you. When they did this to Ryan's wife, everything was cell phones, electronic devices, all that stuff that was laying around was taken. Ryan always thought that was awfully suspicious, but he didn't really realize that at first. But once he got out and he could kind of do his own investigating, and electronic devices, all that stuff was taken that was around the house. No phones and no computers. There was no nothing. Tablets. Everything was gone. The devices that the wife, which were phones, had of the warden and her husband corresponding with each other on. Everything was gone. Warden had nothing to worry about at that point. Hell, if Ryan came out and said something, man, that's just your word against mine, man. He's an inmate. He's a, what do you call that? What do you call it when women, they awfully, dudes do it as well, but women, when they're upset and they're furious and they're scorned, they're just a scorned inmate. And no respect, no disrespect, women, because dudes be probably more scorned than you all. This son of a bitch. If I'd have been a snake, it would have bit me. This son of a bitch had my wife killed. So although this individual couldn't give Ryan this, well, he did give the person's name, but the person had already been murked on the streets. Ryan could do the rest himself. Ryan held true to his word, man. Broke the dude off 50 G's. Let me get your number too, man. Because I might need you. Broke him off 50,000, man. All cash. Street money. Street life is the only life we know. Street life. Broke him off to 50,000. Now Ryan got a vendetta. I gotta get to this warden, man. I gotta get to this warden. But it's not gonna be very easy. See, he didn't know where the warden lived at. He knew where the warden was the warden at, but he didn't know where he lived. You see, people, he's a public, like when you're a somewhat of a public figure, like a prosecutor, a judge, a warden, your address is not just listed and easy to find like everybody else's, because people will get at you. They know where you live at, man. Not to say that it can't be found, because it definitely can, but it's just not as accessible. But at this point, Ryan is damn near a millionaire, probably a millionaire. And if he's not, he's 800,000-900,000 strong. Straight cash, homie. Cash should get some things done for you. I'm sure y'all know all about it. Cash should get some things done for you. Ryan's trying to devise a plan, but this is personal. I want to handle this all on my own. Ryan gets to drinking a lot. trying to drink away his sorrows. You see, he feel bad because this whole thing was his fault. He felt as though he got his wife erased because the truth of the matter is she never asked for $150,000. That was just something that he devised and went to the warden with and told him, hey man, my wife wants $150,000. If not, she never did that. That was a totally made up plot, proposition, if you will. And to a certain extent, financially, it worked out in Ryan's favor, but overall, it didn't because, dude, you got your wife murked, man. You got your wife unalive because of the lie that you made up. She no longer exists at this point. Obviously, he knew that, so he's feeling bad, man. He's drinking, and oh man, I cannot believe I did this. Took full responsibility for the unaliving of his wife. I just never said that. If I just had just left it alone, if I had just, approached it in a different manner, if I had just did this, if I had just done that, but he didn't. And now he's here, but she's not, and she had nothing to do with it other than simply discovering what had happened. Yeah, she wanted the money. Once he told her, baby, I'm gonna make sure everything's okay. Just let me explain this to you. It's not what it seems, but I can't really talk on these phones, on the airwaves like that. But I promise you, man, we gonna get this money back up, and it's gonna be good. I promise you, boo. And she stuck by his side, although she was understandably upset and hurt and furious or whatever. She stuck by his side, and because of me and because of my actions, she's not here with me. Although Ryan was mad at himself, he's still gonna get that warden, man. Again, he knows that it's gonna be a difficult task. People with money, people in positions like that, pause. They're protected. You can't just run up on no judge. I wouldn't recommend doing anything like this anyway, but I'm just hypothetically just like giving different scenarios. You try to run up on a judge on the streets or like they have people that walk security that are with them. Maybe not prosecutors, but they're not just out everywhere like that. But like judges and wardens and people like that, like they're not gonna be where you're at typically. Now you may run into one, or you, especially in little small towns, everybody knows each other. But in a larger city, a larger town, like it's very difficult to run across one like that. And if you do, like I said, they're protected. I ain't got money though. Ryan would go and sit outside of the prison, not literally outside, but like close by the prison. He got the binoculars. He can't go to a PI, private investigator, anything like that. Like he has to keep this on the wraps. I know what he used to drive, but I don't know what he drives now. He had a few cars, so I don't know. So he's doing his due diligence, investigative work to figure out, okay, if I can just figure out, I remember Batman back in the day. Batman! I used to watch Batman when I was a kid. And every time Robin was in trouble, not every time, but sometimes, they had Batman tied up. Joker, they get ready, do something. The Joker and Batman would often go back and forth. Batman, they in a hell of a situation, and they can't get out. And Batman, if I could just... He wore this yellow belt around his waist. It's called the utility belt. If I could just... Robin... Boy Wonder, whatever they call it. If I could just reach my Utility belt. Gotta reach his utility belt, man. And once Batman reached his utility belt, the day was saved. Ryan was trying to reach his utility belt by trying to figure out exactly his former best friend that he couldn't reach by phone or email or text message. Well, he didn't have his phone. He couldn't reach this individual. Best friend / lover from time to time. Not even lover, but I don't know what to call that, man. If I could just reach my utility belt. Ryan reached his utility belt. He was able to figure out and find out the vehicle that the warden was driving. And I gotta figure out where he lives at. I can't do anything to him coming out of the prison. I gotta figure out, I need answers. I need to talk to this dude. I need to, unless you're a professional at following somebody, you know, from what I hear, that's not the easiest thing to do, from what I hear. Yeah, you can follow somebody, but as far as like without being detected or without being, because people don't always go straight home. People have different, you know, things that they do and different, you know, pit stops that they make or whatever. After about a month, Ryan finally figures out, because he's not doing this like every single day. Some Matlock shit where they just posting up and but after about a month or so, he ends up finding out where the warden lives at. That's all he was waiting on. It's my wife, man. I want you to look me in my eye. Before I do you in, you don't look me in my eye. Brian had the plot. He had everything going. He's at the warden's house one night, posted up. He's in the cut. I say he's in the cut. He's in the can't be seen. He's in the darkness. The warden never comes home. Man. Next night, the warden never comes home. What's going on? Next day, Ryan goes up to the prison. About the time the warden gets off, okay, let me see. He never sees the warden leave the prison. What is going on? I got the dime on his food, but I can't find his food. On the fourth day, it's the news. Prison warden accidentally unalived on the lake. Prison warden accidentally unalived on the lake, at the lake. No offense, white people love going to the lake. Black people, we love going to the clubs. That's just what it is. You know, hopefully nobody gets offended. But if you do, it's probably ain't the channel for you. White people love going jet skiing and going to the lake and the cabin. Black people, we ain't got that shit. He's out on the lake and ended up diving in on one of them big ass cliffs and didn't quite make it to the water, hit his head and prior to hitting the water and didn't make it. sometimes people look at life and they say, okay, well, that's karma. I don't know if you can necessarily call that karma. Because, see, we all have an expiration date. We're all going to go one day, somehow, some way. We all going to go. So I wouldn't be so quick to call that karma. Whatever you want to call it, the warden was out of here. You would think that Ryan would feel happy and exonerated and just know he was living with this guilt. You see, Ryan wanted to speak to the warden one last time and let him know, I know what you did last summer. Why did you do this to my wife, dude? He wanted to look him in the eye before he sent him to that upper room. The upper room, yeah, the upper room. The upper room. Ryan wanted to be the one that sent the warden to the upper room. And his freak accident happened that some may call karma. And he was no longer afforded that opportunity. You know, if you want to take anything from this story, there's so many different messages within the stories I mentioned early on that there would be. You got infidelity. You got, street shit going on, trafficking drugs, extortion, blackmail, people smuggling in drugs in prison, hitman for hire. Murder is murder. Things in life, there's a saying in a rap song. Shit was all good just a week ago. It's an example of how quickly life can just change on you, can just go in a totally opposite direction of where it was going, where it was, the trajectory. Treat people right simply because it's it's just the right thing to do. Treat people right simply because it's the right thing to do. You never know what a person is thinking. You never know, once you start doing dirt, you never know where it's going to take you at. Could take you to the penitentiary. Could take you to the grave. Ryan, he never went back to prison. Not quite sure. I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you. I could easily make up something. And Ryan went on to open up 20 gyms, and I'm not quite sure what Ryan's doing to this day. Not sure if he's continuing to drink. I'm not sure if he's living and if he has peace now, which I doubt it. I doubt it. How do you ever gain peace when you were the cause of your wife being eliminated from this earth? I know you all had a plan. I know that you was trying to keep her and get her back. She was already acclimated. She was already used to, accustomed rather, to a certain lifestyle, and you used your mind, used your brain, but it came back to how much you see the warden. The warden was on some gangster shit too, man. Y'all weren't that many years apart. So no, he didn't physically put his hands on anybody. But a lot of times when you see a situation or you see a case and you got the hitman, you got the hitman, and then you got the individual that paid the hitman. Opposed to the hitman, they want the individual that paid the hitman. Because the hitman's just, he's wrong for doing what he did. But it was just business to him. He didn't necessarily want this person gone. But the person that paid the hitman, they wanted this person erased. Just like in my cases. Now, it had nothing to do with no violence or no, murder or nothing like that. But in my case, all the individuals that was cashing these counterfeit checks and money orders and credit cards, and they looked at them as just pawns. Okay, yeah, y'all important pieces, but we want the individuals that gave this to you. We want the individuals that you all was giving the bulk of the money to. Even though you was the one that went into the banks knowing that this check wasn't no good, and you lied to the detectives. Well, I just thought it was a good check. Come on, man. Somebody can give you a $4,500 check and only give you $50, and you thinking, which was a lie. Anybody that did something like that, and these are crimes that I've already paid for and done time for. But an individual that went in there and let's just say a $4,500 check, they're going to get a minimum of 25%. They're going to get $1,500. Well, not $1,500, but what's that, 11 and some change? $1,100 and some change, $1,150. Matter of fact, $1,175 if you want to be, break it all the way down. They're going to get 25% of what it was. But they're going to tell the detectives, oh, no, he only gave me $50 and told me I better not say anything. Lying, because they're trying to protect themselves, man, and make themselves less accountable. Things in life, man, it's just it's just crazy how the twists can come in it, and it comes so fast. Pause, double pause, triple pause. Do the right thing, man. Anybody that's watched this whole series, if you haven't, obviously if you're watching part 4, 9 times out of 10, one would think you watch part 1, 2, and 3. Do the right thing simply because it was the right thing to do. Sure would like to hear from Ryan. I hope Ryan watches my channel. Maybe he stumbles upon my channel one day. Sure would like to just have another sit down with Ryan and just talk to him, man. And just see where his mind's at, where his head's at, man. Ho. Not where his head's at. I would like to see where his mind's at. Real Kens TV, man. Hopefully you like the story, the series. Feel free to comment. Definitely share every video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribing, be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action, this heat, you're amongst the first to receive. Shout out to James, I believe McIlvain. My partner Edron. I'm not familiar with the actual pronunciation, but I think it's Edron. He watches all my videos, man. I definitely appreciate you, bro. I see all your comments. Just all the people, Miss Deborah in Chicago, Chi-Town's in the building. Just definitely, man, just the people that rock with me, the people that, support me. I'm very, very appreciative of you all. I'm a small channel, but I'm growing every day. Every day, 10, 15, sometimes 20 subscribers. And I appreciate every last one of you all. Even when I go on my tirades or whatever, complaining about not having as many subscribers as, some people feel as I should. Dreams 392 is another big supporter of the channel. East St. Louis, Illinois is in the building. Can't even pronounce his name. Is Edron Brooks, EDRON Brooks, BROOKS 5277. Definitely shout out to him. My dog Terry Brown, been there since from day one. He was the 6th subscriber, man. And there's plenty more. Man. Real Kens TV, man. Y'all have a great day.